So this is hella random. I had a dream last night that I haven't had in many years, ever since I was in high school. Um, when I turned about 14, we moved to a new house, and I don't know what it was about that house in this dream, but I would have this dream where I would be in the new house, but it didn't exactly look like the new house. It looked like I was in my room, but it didn't exactly look like my room, but I was totally convinced that this was my room. And in that room, there was this um like secret door where you could walk through to this like secret place. And in this place, when it opened up, it was huge. It was like the size of my house again. Like whatever the size of that house is, it was like that size times two. Like it was huge. It had these like exposed wood. It was like beams running across it. It was like an unfinished area. Kind of reminds me of an unfinished attic, but huge. It had like 3 or 4 stories. It had like a tower in it. There were people that would live in there, like little hobbits or um people who go live in like that's called hobbits, right? Recluses or people who like live in places and they don't talk to people. I remember it was like a old man that lived in there and just other little things that live. It's kind of like a fairyland in a way, but it was like the back of the house or something through this secret door. And then in this dream, there was like this bar in there, this like a wet bar that was in there, and then it opened up into like the garage, or not the garage, but to the side of the house where the cars would be parked. And I, in the dream, I hadn't been there in a long, because I don't live in my mother's house anymore. But I hadn't been there in a long time, and um, that's how I was in the dream. And when I finally went, I was like, I was wanted to show one of my friends, like, I want to show you this secret room. I haven't been here in years, but I want to show it to you. And so we walked through, and it just opened up to this huge expanse, and just like these it was just huge. Like it was crawl spaces and like a catwalk in it. And uh it's so vivid. It was so real. That's the weird part about it, is that is the most weird, I'm sorry, the most vivid dream I've ever had in my life. It's the only dream that actually tricks my brain into thinking it's real. I remember waking up and thinking that this place was real, like I could actually go there. And I remember it's like I would wake up and have actual waking memories of this place. And then I would think of, how can I get, my room looks a little different now. How can I get back to that secret place? And I actually would actively be thinking about how the hell could I get back to this secret place, like in waking life. And then it dawned on me, like, wait a minute, that place wasn't real. I remember when I first figured this out after waking up and like going about my day and thinking about this secret place. And I'm like thinking about wanting to go back there. And I realized, wait a minute, that's not real. And it didn't even make sense when I said it's not real. Like it just is so intensely real. It was more than just being vivid. It was like being physically being in a space, like I'm in this house. And all the minute details, I can't even explain it all. It kind of reminds me, like in terms of the creakiness of it, kind of like the Weasley's house in Harry Potter, like how it was so tall. And I remember going into those little spaces and just hiding away, and especially when I felt sad. That's why I feel like I would go to that place whenever I feel like I would go to that place but not remember. Do you get what I'm saying? I feel like whenever I go there, whenever I would go there, especially now, I feel like I hadn't been there in a long time, but I had memories of going into this place and being there for a long time. Like I had memories of like active memories, like how I can remember what happened yesterday, kind of memories of going to this secret place. Like I can physically recall times, not dreams, actual memories of going to this place. That's why I think I would dream of it. I know I dreamed of it often, but I think I would dream of it and then forget the dream. Like that's how often I feel like I would go there. It seemed like it was somewhere I would go every day or every other day when I lived in that house. And it just and when I finally wake up and like realize like even today like when I woke up and realized like oh damn I want to go back to oh that wasn't real. That wasn't real. It feels so real. And in the dream, like in my old bedroom, my niece is in my old bedroom, and she was in the dream. She was coming through the secret entrance, the secret door, because you can get to the driveway from that entrance. And she was like coming home from work, like she does, coming home from work and going into the room. And I was like, I'm gonna show my friend the room, and she's like smiling and whatever. And she walks to the bathroom or something. She walks out of the bedroom and she goes something probably to the bathroom or something. I guess is what my brain assumed. But in that, it just was so real that when I woke up, if you know what it felt like when I woke up, it felt like my brain. You know how like when you run a really powerful program on your computer, like for instance, when I do video editing, I use DaVinci Resolve. And sometimes if I put a bunch of effects or if I'm starting to do, or sometimes a really good example, I'll use Cakewalk to edit my audio. And it's like when you continue to layer and then you add on all of these different sound effects and different things that you add to the audio, it makes the computer work harder. And then it's like, zzz, you know, you can hear the fans whizzing around and it's like the computer is really trying to keep up with all the things. It would do that also when I would be working on Photoshop. It would be really working hard. And that's the way my brain felt. It felt like I was I was operating at maximum capacity in my head. Ow, I got too many things while I'm sitting. But it felt like my brain had been running at full speed, you know, running full RAM. Like my computer's 16 gigabytes of RAM. I was running at 17. Like I was just running just before I would be totally exhausted. And when I woke up, my brain was like, woo, 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 like hot. My brain felt hot from that experience. It felt like if just sitting up in the bed, it felt like my brain felt really loud and busy and it felt heavy, like a lot of pressure on like especially the front portion of my head. And I feel like that pressure is just now calming down, even now. Well, today was, you know, there's a lot going on today for me, but I feel like I never really got to calm down from all that action that was going on in my brain. Like my neurons firing like crazy. That's what it felt like. But the place, when I got back there, it was like, oh yeah, I remember this place. I haven't been here in years. And it was like walking, I'm feeling emotional, fuck. It was like walking into an old friend in this secret place. It was kind of creaky. It's kind of has that old smell of wood, a little damp, but not actually like a little humid. It'd probably be the best word. A little hot, a little warm. It's a warm day. And I I remember going up to the tower at the very top and it's an empty room. It would be creepy to most people, but a lot of things people would find creepy, I find really comforting. Like this creaky old room with creaky floors and dark in most places and cobwebs, but it's so peaceful and just so at home. But I haven't had that dreaming. I haven't dreamed of that place in years. And even when I dreamed of it then, it was so real. And even now, it feels so real. Like I just want to go back there. Like I feel like I can get up, walk through a door, and go back there right now. Like it's just amazing how the brain just. Well, I've never actually had an experience. Like I can remember a lot of different dreams. But I've never had an experience like that where I can act, where the dream felt so real. It feels like a memory that I can go back to from childhood. That's how intense, like I feel like I should be able to go back there. And to say that it's not real and to say that it's a dream doesn't sound right. It doesn't make sense because that place felt more real than this one does. The brain is crazy. And I feel like I'm having more experiences like that where it feels like when I step out of my house, it doesn't look real. Like it looks like I'm on a movie set. My life feels like whose life is this, number one? But my life feels like it feels like I'm on a sound stage when I step outside of my door and I look around and I look up at the sky, especially when the sky is overcast and all the street lights are bouncing off of the clouds and so the sky looks orange. It just don't look like that's when it looks the least real. And then when it's on a clear night and I'm looking at the sky, it looks like just flickering lights that's so far away that I can't quite touch it. You know what I mean? But it still has this dome feeling like you're in a arena, but the arena is so big that you can't recognize that it's an arena in this domed place. Kind of like the Truman Show, I guess. But when I step outside and I look up at the stars, it just, if I'm out there long enough, outside feels like a bedroom. It's been like that for years. I just never, I don't think about it too long. But when I sit outside long enough, especially if I'm in a comfortable position, I'm in a chair where I can just lay back and I'm out there long enough, it feels like I'm in a bedroom. Like the house feels like a closet in comparison to outside. But it still has that element of like it doesn't feel real. And when I look around, it feels like I'm looking through it feels like I'm looking through like a hologram, like I'm looking through those 3D goggles. Like that's what everything looks like now. That's what it feels like. And when I'm in the dark, I don't know if anybody else has ever experienced, I'm pretty sure everybody's experienced it. If you're ever in the dark, open your eyes in the dark. You'll notice that it's not opaque black. Like if you're in a dark place where there's no light, it's not opaque black. It's a grainy black. It's not because I'm blind. Even when I have contacts on and I can see perfectly clear, when I'm in a dark place and there's no light and you look at the darkness, it doesn't just look like darkness. It looks like grainy darkness. Like through a as if you're looking at a TV screen or some like really intense pigmented HD 3D hologram. That's what it feels like. That's what my life feels like. I'm in some sort of hologram and I feel like a bunch of things are watching. I know there are definitely spirits. Why so many spirits in my house? They're always around. I just ignore them. Not intentionally, but they're just around. And I know that they watch. And this is an always thing, but especially as an adult. When I first moved here, now I lived with my mom. It was just me and my mom for a long time. Sometimes my brother and my nieces would come, but it was me and my mom for a long time. So never really thought about, wearing a bunch of clothes like panties, bra, whatever. But whenever I've in this house, it took me years to not. I'm talking about years in terms of I've been here for 10 years now. And it took me till maybe 2 years ago to not feel this way anymore. Whenever I would walk out of my bedroom, I would instinctually put on a robe or look for a robe to put on. Or if and I still feel this sometimes if I'm, especially if I'm in a dead sleep and I walk up and I walk out and I go to the bedroom, I have this instant need to hurry up and put clothes on. Even though I've been living alone for 10 years, I have this need to put on clothes. Or when I walk out, I felt like that last night. Come and think of it. I have this need to put on clothes because I don't want someone to see me naked. Or some bodies. It's like, it's not just a one person, it's like somebody. I don't want them to see me naked. So I'll walk out and I'll cover, because I sleep in underwear. Okay, I don't sleep with, pajamas. Too hot for that. Okay. But I sleep with underwear. It may be TMI. But I still do that. I get up, but usually if I'm woke, I don't. But I was asleep and I woke up to go to the bathroom. And I wake up, I go to open the door, and I'm like this. I don't want them to see my breast. I walk to the bathroom, and it's like, wait a minute, no one's here. Who do I want not to see me naked? The cats? No. I've always felt like that. Like, I don't want them to see me naked. It's very strange. And I've been, but every night, it didn't matter if I was woke or not woke, I would still have that instant thought, let me put on some, oh wait, nobody's out there. And I would walk out the door knowing that and still do this so no one would see me. So strange. Especially living with just me and my mother for a very long time. Like I said, there were some times where my brother would come live with us, but aside from that, it was just me and her most of the time. This is delicious. That's Sri Lankan cinnamon. It's better than the regular cinnamon. It's actually tastes sweet, like physically tastes sweet. Is even though it's softer than the average cinnamon, it's very strong in terms of how it translates in the tea. But anyways, but yeah, I feel like I've always, especially in this house, I always feel like there's so many people in here. And that's not just a me thing. My mother has had that comment when she slept in here when I was gone. She was by herself. And she was like, I could just hear so much noise, like so much noise outside of the door. My room is a very quiet room. There's a few spirits that might pass through, like my grandmother or some other beings or entities that I may be okay with. But my room is pretty much off limits to the spirits in this house. And they know that and they respect that. My grandmother and maybe a few other spirits may come and go or be around, but they never stay long. Even my grandmother doesn't stay long. She'll come and she'll leave. It's not like I just sit and notice that, but I can just feel the difference. She'll most likely be in there if I'm having a hard time. But aside from that, my room is a spirit-free zone, and everything else in the house is filled. Like this house is filled to the brim with so many energies. And she was saying that outside, behind the door, she could hear a lot of chatter, like a group of people, like a party going on. Even though there's no music, it just was like up in the whole the whole house is silent. The outside of the house is silent. Inside of the house sounds like a lot of people chattering. And that's what it's like. It's like a party 100% of the time here without the music, just people congregating. And so I just always attributed to that. But as time has gone by, I just feel nothing feels real. Like I feel like I'm gonna wake up and be like, oh shit, that was a crazy dream. I just feel like I'm gonna wake up and be like that. And I can close my eyes and see all of the inner workings of how this world works, how it really is a construct that is made by humans or whatever beings that control everything. I can see the construct of how they put this shit together, and it sickens me. It really sickens me, and it's sad. And it's that instant urge to escape, to get out of here. My spirit is not a spirit of being contained or controlled. Um, and when I feel that way, I just want to be out, you know? It's like it's time to go. But aside from that, when I have dreams like that, or even sometimes visions or daydreams that'll pop in my head, they seem more real than this place. That place seems 100 times more like it feels tangible. Like I can physically put my hands on the rails of the stairs that you walk up and down. I can feel it I can feel the grain of the fucking rails in my hand even now when I think about it. That's crazy to me. I can smell that wooden smell. It's like a attic-y, kind of musty, but heavily wooden smell, like fresh, like old wood, but very fragrant wood. I can smell it. I can taste the air. It's got like kind of a old sweet taste. It kind of reminds me of like how my grandma's house would smell, but not as grandma-y. I don't know. Can remember how the air felt. I can remember how hot it was or how warm it was. It felt like a hot attic, but not unbearably hot. But this was the first time I was able to get a glimpse of how big the house was, because I never remember seeing. It's like I knew there was a way you could exit, and I knew that you can get out of the house from that space, but I never actually seen the outside. I was able to actually see the outside through the windows. I can see the driveway and my niece's car in the driveway that's along the side of the house, even though my mother's house is nothing like that at all. But I could see her car through the window. I can see where she walked in. And it's really bright. And there's like at the top of the stairs, there's a big open space. The ceiling is like 20 feet high. I don't know. It's a really high ceiling. And at the top, there's a window, like a octagon window that has like separations. The little things that separate the window panes. And there's a lot of light pouring in, and through that I can see trees and the sky. I don't know if it's like neighbors' trees or trees in the yard. I can see trees in the sky. Sky is blue. And when you go up that little tower thing, I can see there's light showing through, like a skylight of some sort. May not even be fully sealed kind of house. The floors are really creaky and it's dark. And I can see the catwalk. Just all this light pouring into this unfinished space. But it's still dark in some areas, and I can see this bar table, like this little bar, mini bar. I see different types of alcohol and stools, and it's small, maybe 4 stools long. Just this big expanse behind this door. They're just such good memories, even though I don't have any memories there. It's amazing. I can see it. It's the most intense dream I've had in a long time. A very long time. There's one other memory that I had that I was convinced was real as a child, but I can't think of it right now. But that one is really, really real. Like where I would wake up and think I want to go. I'm going to go. Oh, wait. That's not real. Oh, another intensely real, I guess, dream. I guess it was a dream. Shit, it could have been real for all I know. I had a dream that I was at my brother's apartments. This is a long time ago. I was a little kid. And I was in the pool of those apartments, and I went underwater, and I've had plenty of dreams where I was breathing underwater, but this dream whatever was so fucking real. I was totally convinced that I could breathe underwater when I was a kid. Totally convinced. I was like, it's like this bubble formed around my face where I could breathe underwater. I've had other dreams like that where I was breathing underwater, and it felt so real. Like whenever I would get in the pool, like, Crystal, that wasn't real. Don't go breathing underwater. But like, how do you know you can't breathe underwater until you take a breath? Just shit like that. I wouldn't dare do it, but it was so that I've had many dreams where I was breathing underwater, and that shit felt so, and it was just a regular day. I wasn't in no ethereal place. It was like me in the pool in my mother's backyard, or me in that pool of that apartment complex, and I was breathing underwater. Or when I was taking lessons and on how to swim, and I was practicing diving, I had dreams where I was breathing underwater. And they feel so fucking real. They felt more real than this life. It's just crazy. But anyways, I thought I'd make note of that special place. That place, even though I've never been there, it has a special place in my heart, and I can't stop thinking about it. I just want to go there. Like, I feel like in my mind right now, waking mind, I feel like I can drive to my mother's house, go in my old bedroom, and open that door, and all of that will be there. Like, that's what's in my mind as real right now. And I have to remind myself that that's not real. That's how real that dream is. And it feels more real than going to my actual mother's house and walking in the room and finding that there's no secret place except the closets that are there. It's crazy. But anyway, that was long. Did not expect that to be long, but here we are. I'm gonna go and rest. Bye.